Hello YouTube, this is Neon. Today I'm going to be speaking about my experience being lactose intolerant. This ain't no scientific lactose intolerance forum in which everything I'm saying is a fact. This is more about just my experience. How I came to realize and accept that I'm lactose intolerant and what the experience is like. So initially, way back in the day, like in the 1800s, a while back, I had heard that 85% of African Americans are lactose intolerant. And I was like, y'all lying. Y'all trying to stereotype us. Y'all better get out my face. So I just said that it's not true. I didn't like it, so it wasn't true. Later on, I was reading Muscle and Fitness, which is a great magazine, has helped me keep in shape. There was an article. No, it wasn't no article. What was it? I'm trying to figure out what was it. It was an advertisement, and they were talking about some product in this advertisement that had no lactose, and they gave the percentages of people who are lactose intolerant in this advertisement by race. I don't think that at the time I necessarily remembered like what race was what lactose intolerant based on their race and all that stuff. I didn't remember that. But I do remember what it said about African Americans, which is 85%. And I trust Muscle and Fitness, great magazine, and I trusted that they were not going to allow an advertiser to put out something that's not correct. So later on, I read a little bit about what lactose intolerance is. I spoke with a helpful pharmacist who told me, she's like, you worried about 85% of African Americans are lactose intolerant? She said 95% of Asians are lactose intolerant. She was Asian. This was an Asian pharmacist. So I realized that, it's not a racial thing. That's just how it is. Lactose intolerance, it's the inability of some people to digest lactose. Lactose is milk sugar. The worst culprit, if you will, which is to say, that which have the most lactose in it is cow's milk. I love the taste, the texture, full fat cow. I love that. I don't drink it though. People can purchase little tablets, lactase tablets. Lactase, excuse me. I don't think y'all heard that, but I just burped. Lactase is the enzyme that digests lactose. And for some reason, and as I said, it seems to be people of color going up to Asian, our beautiful Asian brothers and sisters, that tend to have the higher percentage of people that are lactose intolerant. So a person can buy these pills unless they pull like me. If they pull like me, they can't. And these pills have lactase, and my experience when I could afford them was that they worked pretty well. There's extremes of lactose intolerance, and it can get a little confusing. There's people who cannot eat anything that has even a trace of lactose in it. Cheese, yogurt, any kind of dairy product. They're very, very sensitive. I've read articles that suggest that these folks, some of them may actually be allergic to milk protein and not to milk sugar. But then again, there are people who are just simply extremely lactose intolerant, and they can't tolerate even the tiny amount of lactose that would be in cheese. That's not the case for me. I can tolerate cheese. I believe I can tolerate certain yogurts. it's been a while since I could afford yogurts. That's why the confusion is there. I don't know how long ago this was. I had money, I could afford milk, and I was like, it's been a while since I've drunk cow milk. I'm gonna buy me some full fat cow's milk. It was a nightmare. According to what I've read and my personal experience, it's been that in drinking milk, these horrible symptoms I'm going to describe aren't immediate. They tend to happen once the milk begins to pass from the stomach to the small intestines. For drinking cow's milk, as I said, for me it's the most it's the worst. It's the most extreme is drinking pure cow's milk. Once the milk starts going into the intestines, it begins to the lactose begins to ferment. A bunch of gas is produced. A person may experience bloating that's so severe that their tummy just starts to look pregnant. My experience has been that all of the food will be pushed out of my intestines. So I'll be going to the restroom over and over and over again. I begin to get diarrhea, and that diarrhea, it begin to get more and more watery. Before you know it, it's like a water hose. And it ain't even brown anymore. It begins to be orange. I guess that's the color of the biles that digest the food. Like literally everything is pushed out. It's very unpleasant. It really is. It's like don't nobody want their rectum to be like a sprinkler. And then in your restroom, your toilet be looking like a crime scene when you done. It ain't pretty and smells foul. Towards the end, as all of this gas and this fermentation and partially digested food and diarrhea begins to pass through, then all the gas starts passing through. The first flatulence could have some liquids in it, so you gotta be cautious not to poop your pants, spray your pants. Alright. Eventually that last little bit of liquids passes through, and then there's just farting. You're gonna be farting, and there'll be different. There'll be like the whoopee cushion farts that they have their own sound. Some of the farts will be just they will sound like a cool breeze. That just you sitting there and you doing it, and you just waiting well, when is this gonna stop? How much gas is up in me? It's all methane, I guess. I don't know. So that's been my experience. I had the brilliant idea of eating or drinking cow's milk, and I don't drink it anymore. Some people can drink goat's milk. Goat's milk has lactase, but the lactase is somewhat broken down. So some people who are not as sensitive or they don't have a strong reaction may be able to drink. They might could drink goat's milk. Goat's milk yogurt or European or Greek style yogurt. From what I've read, it's the healthiest. I don't recall having too much of a reaction to that. Again, the microbes that turn milk to yogurt break down a lot of the lactose. I don't have any problem with cheese, thank God, where I'm having any recognizable symptoms. I can eat cheese as much as I want. So, anything else that y'all might want to know about lactose intolerance? Ice cream, I don't have too much of an issue with ice cream. I don't eat it much because it's loaded with sugar. Sugar's not good for you. But if I'm depressed or if I'm smoking pot, yeah, I might get the munchies and eat ice cream. But that's the bulk of it. I was going to tell y'all how I accidentally, I'll tell you. I accidentally one time, to try to get this dude I was dating, it was very dysfunctional. He was stalking me and all that stuff. off my back. I remember I bought him a gift. I don't want to go into too much detail about this. I bought him a gift, and I forgot he was lactose intolerant because at that time I didn't really know what it was. If I had diarrhea from eating milk, I didn't make no connection. I just had diarrhea. And I remember I bought him it, and later on, I didn't want him to talk to me or bother me or anything like that, but he appreciated the gift. But the thing that I gave him, it was like a basket that had some milk product in it. He had everything I just described before. When I get it, he had that times 10 because his was extreme. I don't think he could have anything with even traces of lactose in it. So that's about it. If you like this video, like, subscribe, share, comment, commercial, recommend my video. Do one or more of those things. Thank you. Best wishes.